Shalom, coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstone, and so hopefully like pushing his word and truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Just gonna be talking about Yahweh Shai and why he is who he is, why he's on the top, why he is the one, right? Why he's on the right hand side of the Father, Yahweh, right? It's be a quick one, but important one nonetheless. Ephesians 2:2, wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience, right? And we were like this before we came into the truth, right? We're in the world being wicked, right? Among whom also we all had our conversation in times past in the lust of our flesh. Yeah, we were all lusting after their flesh when we were in the world, right? We didn't really, there was no rules, there was no guidelines. And if we did have rules, they are rules based off wickedness, right? Fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. But Yahweh, who is rich in mercy, for his great love wherewith he loved us, even when we were dead in sins, because we were in a dead state in sins, because when you sin, sin leads unto death. So we were dead in sins, hath quickened us together with Yahweh Shai, by grace ye are saved. So we were saved through Yahweh Shai when he died on the cross, right? Because of his blood. It was a perfect sacrifice, blemished lamb. And hath raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Then that in the ages to come he might shew the exceeding riches of his grace and his kindness toward us through Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. For by grace are ye saved through faith. So that's how we are saved. And the only ones that are going to have this faith, right? Because everyone's in the grace period right now. Well, actually, that's quickly shortening right now because people are getting taken out. But the only ones that are going to have true faith are the elect, right? Because they understand what's going on. They understand everything. And that not of yourselves, it is the gift of Yahweh, right? And there you go. So Yahweh is only going to give that gift to the elect, right? Not of works. So it's not about works, how much work you do, even though that's still important, right? Right? If you know you're supposed to do something, you're supposed to do it. If you have a job to do, you're supposed to do your job, right? Lest any man should boast, right? So that's why you're not supposed to be boasting about, I did all this stuff. I brought this much guys into the truth, blah, 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 blah. That's not about that. Even though that's still important, but at the end of the day, the Most High is using you. He can just take you out. That's why that's not important. You see? For we are his workmanship, created in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach unto good works, which Yahweh had before ordained that we should walk in them. Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh. Yep, we were all Gentiles in the flesh. Now you're only talking about the Israelites because the Israelites are the only ones that can get this knowledge because the Israelites, right, are Yahweh's loved people, his favorite people, his only people. He chose Israel. So therefore, they're the only ones that get this knowledge. So when it says Gentiles, it's referring to the Israelites. It's not referring to all the other nations, right? And anytime it does refer to other nations, it's only because Israel was scattered amongst the other nations. So you were Gentiles. You're in that Gentile state of mind, right? Who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands. That at that time ye were, and we're all uncircumcision because when we left, we are uncircumcised from the truth, right? That's why part of the law is you have to be circumcised, right? That's you're being circumcised through the truth, right? But when you go and become a Gentile, now you're uncircumcised, right? Even though you're circumcised in the flesh, you're still uncircumcised because you fell away from the congregation, right? That at that time you were without Yahweh Shai, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel, basically what I just said, right? And strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without Yahweh in the world. So so when you left the truth, you didn't have Yahweh. He wasn't with you, right? That's why, and it's talking about back then, but the same thing is right now. Like, if you come into the truth and you leave, the Most High is not with you anymore. You're on your own. So he doesn't have any hedge over you. He doesn't have his angels watching you. He just has demons coming after you. That's it. But now in Yahushai, ye who sometimes were far off are made nigh by the blood of Yahushai. Yeah? And we're made nigh, which means close, right? Is because when Yahushai died, he redeemed us back to Yahweh. That's why he's also known as the Redeemer, right? He brought us close back to Yahweh. And more importantly, is the elect, because the elect are the only ones that can be saved in the upcoming destruction. But Israel will come back through the elect anyway. So all of Israel will be saved, like in the long run. But as a present time, it's only going to be the elect, because 2/3 of Israel has to be destroyed because they're just too far gone, right? And the elect are the first fruits that were there with Yahushai when he first created everything. So that's why they're important. So talked about enough about that. Now I'm going to do Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And now this Egypt is talking to, now it says bring thee into Egypt again. It doesn't say bring you into Egypt. So therefore, obviously, it's not talking about back in the ancient times when the Israelites were in Egypt under the Pharaoh, with the pyramids and everything. It's talking about a different Egypt. So the only place that's spiritually called Egypt is Babylon, right? And Babylon's America. Okay, that's why the ships is referring to is when the slave traders, the Ishmaelites, the Hamites, the Edomites, they went to, especially the Hamites gave up the Israelites, but the Israelites went to West Africa, I believe, is West Africa and East Africa, when they were running from that persecution from the Romans. So they went there to hide because we look like the Hamites, same skin tone, everything like that. So they hid amongst the Hamites, but the Hamites obviously know who their people are. You know who your people are. So when Esau came and Ishmael, they sold them. More importantly, they sold to Edomites because Ishmael did work in the slave trade also. They put us under slavery. They have a lot to pay for it too. But more importantly, we're talking about Esau because he's the top one. He has the most to pay for. So the ships is referring to is when you saw, all the movies about the slaves on ships and they got taken from Africa and brought to the Americas. So that's what it's referring to here when it says the ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there shall be and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. Yeah, and they were sold. We were sold unto our enemies. And Esau, Edom is our number one enemy. And we were sold unto him. For bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Right? And no one bought us. Right? No one saved us. Right? That's what it means by buy you. Because they did buy you physically with money and currency. But when it means buy, it means like no one saved. Because the word redeemed also means to buy back. Right? So no one bought them back at that time. Right? Because at the end of the day, Yahushua already did it. He already bought you back. You're just being wicked. You just went off. Because what happened, Yahushua, when he died on the cross, that was him redeeming us. That was him buying us back to Yahweh. So at that time, we had the protection. We were on good terms with Yahweh through Yahushua. But then, once again, Israel being stubborn, they went off again and started following the customs of the heathens. And what happened is what happened to them. That's why they went into slavery. And that's why we went into slavery. And that's why all these things happened. Right? We already bought back. So there's no buying back again. Right? He only bought you back once. And there's a scripture on that. I just don't know where it is, but it says it's only going to happen once. Right? Now, it comes to the fact that he's only come back for the elect now, because the elect are only ones that are going to be working out their salvation with fear and trembling from a Yahweh Hashem El Shai, right? And have that faith, right? And that's the reason why we went to that the slavery, right? That's why no one bought us back. That's why Yahweh Shai didn't redeem us, because he already did it. That's what people keep forgetting, right? I want to go on a rant. Isaiah, that's a totally different topic. Isaiah 47 and 3 is the last one. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Right? So Yahweh Shai is going to take vengeance on these nations and what they did to us. More importantly, Esau, Edom, because he's on top of the list. But he's not going to meet them as a man. Right? He's not going to meet them as a man. And, okay, let's read verse 4. Slakia. As for our Redeemer, the Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel, right? So, like, it's Most High already, the Yahweh Shem Yahushai already bought us back. He bought us back when he died on the cross. But now it's the time for him to come back and just destroy, because he already has his selected few or elected few, right? So people think that, oh yeah, Yahushua is coming back to save everybody, blah, blah, blah. No, he already bought back the people he already bought back. And really he bought back Israel, but more importantly for right now is the elect, right? So that's it on that, I don't really know what I'm going to call this video, but it's an important one to people understand. Yahushua, who they ignorantly called Jesus Christ, he already bought back Israel when he died on the cross. That's why we went into slavery, because we went off. He bought us back. It's like you declare bankruptcy. Okay, you clear a debt, and then you go back and you get into that same debt again. It's like, well, no one's gonna bail you out this time. That's it. Now you have to face all the hardships of what happens when you're in this debt, right? And we owed the Most High because we went off, and we're still paying for it. But it's slowly coming to an end, right? Or quickly, actually, I should say slowly. But that debt is coming to an end, right? And now you're just trying to have the faith and hope and pray that you're one of the elect, and Yahushua is coming back for you, right? That's why you have to work out your fear, or work out your salvation with fear and trembling, right? So anyways, the point has been made. I hope this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I'd like to close out by saying, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, V'Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstone, and to the hopeful elect, pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Death and destruction to his wicked kingdom, and the two-thirds as well. Kwam Yasharallah, Abad Babal, Shalom.